I am honored now to present to you one of our most distinguished commanders in recent American history, the current director of the Speedway Children's Charities, retired Major General Chuck Swannack.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, sir.
How's everybody doing out there? I got a few things I want to do very briefly, and so just bear with me for a second. But first of all, thanks to Blowing Rock up here in the high country for hosting this event today. It's a glorious day up here, one that God hath made, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. But also to the Oasis Shriners. I knew the Shriners for what they do for kids because I'm in the business of taking care of kids with Speedway Children's Charities. I didn't know also that they have a venue where they provide service dogs to deserving combat wounded veterans, disabled veterans, which is a great program. If you know the love a dog gives you, that's exactly the love some of our multi-deployment capable individuals that got injured along the way need. And they provide dogs to our service members, and I look forward to working with them more. Additionally, I have to thank George Wilcox and Johnny King and Bill Carter and the folks I dealt with to actually bring this salute to veterans all about today. And that's what today is. We just had Memorial Day weekend last weekend, and we paid our respects to our fallen. That we'll never forget our fallen. And we got Veterans Day coming up on the 11th of November, a long way away. And that's why it's my belief, and I'll tell you in a second why, my belief is that every day we thank veterans for protecting the freedoms that we enjoy. And I believe that's what we're doing here today. I know we got some folks up here from Richard's coffee shop down in Mooresville, North Carolina, that do great things taking care of veterans. And we got World War II veterans here, when about 12.2% of our population went to that great war, the greatest generation. Korea, we had about 3.8% of our population go to Korea for that fight. Vietnam, a little bit more. We had 4.3% of our nation committed to Vietnam. And in Vietnam, we had what was called individual replacements. That way, if a trooper by the name of Wilcox over here spent 11 plus months in combat, then a new trooper, Swannack, would come in and replace him. Well, that's not what we do anymore in the Army, and that's not what we've done to fight the Gulf War, or not to fight the global war on terrorism. Gulf War was 1.1%, and believe it or not, the global war on terrorism, which we've been fighting since 2001, about 0.5% of our nation's population has borne the brunt and the burden of that fight. And that means multiple times in deployments. If I'm in the 82nd Airborne Division, we went to Iraq in 2003, had forces in Afghanistan in 2002 and 3. And then if I signed up again to re-enlist in the 82nd Airborne Division, that's where I'm going. I'm going back to Iraq or Afghanistan 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And that's the sacrifice that I want to communicate to you today. That's the sacrifices that, going all the way back to World War I, II, our nation's wars, that the people that stand up and put on the uniform for our country, that they endure to give their life in support of our country. So I've taken a theme today of 3 things that we do with the flag. And it's not trample it like it's being done in some places right now. 3 things that we do with that flag you see right over here on that flagpole. So let me talk about that for a second. Well, first, as a member of the military, you take what's called the oath of enlistment. We all did it when we signed on. It goes something like this. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States, the orders of the officers appointed over me according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Our Constitution. If we look at that Constitution, we get freedoms from that Constitution. Freedom of speech, like I can come up here and say what I want to say today. Freedom for religion. Oh yeah, and also freedom to bear arms. We get certain freedoms that have been protected by the sacrifices of our military for a long, long a good number of years, and God bless them for that. Yeah, we do that with a flag. Another thing I want to talk to you about is something that you know very, very well. I grew up doing it in school, and that's the Pledge of Allegiance. And we do that to our flag. And you all know it goes like this: I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we somewhat lose that these days for some reason. But the two things I want to talk about right now are under God, because I believe this day was not created, this beautiful day, this gorgeous country up here in Blowing Rock was not created by millions and zillions of molecules bouncing together. I believe it takes some kind of energy in the form of creator to create this beauty that we see every day. And every day I wake up and see the beauty, I thank God for that beauty. The other thing I want to mention to you is it says in the Pledge of Allegiance about indivisible. It's just like our military, indivisible. That's how we win wars, indivisible. We're teams, we're squads, we're platoons, we're companies. We work together. I don't ask if the person on my right, my command sergeant major, who's going to keep me alive, Black Charlie Thorpe. I didn't see his skin color. No. When I go out here and do stuff around Charlotte, North Carolina, near where I live, and I see policemen, I don't see that blue uniform they're wearing. They're out there providing security for me. If they're yellow, they're red, they're white, color doesn't matter. What matters is that they're Americans and they're willing to do teamwork to keep our nation great. And that's what's so important for each and every one of us. Now, you go out and vote, and I'm going to go out and vote for every one of the candidate that you so choose. But after it's done, and we elect a new president, and new Congress, and new senators, remember to support them and work together as a team to continue to keep our country great. And that's what I believe the Pledge of Allegiance is all about, and I wish we'd get back in the routine of doing that more and more frequently. Okay, the last thing I want to talk to you about is, again, about that flag. And that's the Star-Spangled Banner. Not the first verse that you just heard. I love that first verse. But I really focus in on the fourth verse, because the fourth verse is so very, very important. So just listen to the words, and I'm going to close with these words. Oh, thus be it ever when free men shall stand between their loved home and war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, may the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto, in God is our trust. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Let me tell you that America will remain the land of the free only so long as it remains the home of the brave. God bless each and every one of you.